Good morning. You guys check this out. Ooh, we're official now. So on site at another pickup. This one's going from Sparks, Nevada to Tacoma, Washington. I don't know what it's paying. I'll look that up real quick. Hold on. Alright, so this load is paying $1,800 to go 600 miles. Nice, that's a good one. 6,000 pounds. It's a Home Depot load. I like this one. $3 a mile. Oh yeah, buddy. And it doesn't have to be up to Washington until Monday, so I got plenty of time. I'm gonna squeak in another load today. I'm gonna drop the trailer and tow it fifth wheel. So I'll give you guys some info on that later. Got this load strapped down. Now I gotta tarp it, so you guys are gonna enjoy this video. It's a load of racking going. I gotta be careful a lot of these corners because they're gonna punch holes in my tarp. Like right there. It's all hard, sharp corners. So I'm gonna have to get creative with some corner protectors here. Figure that out. So have fun watching this. Alrighty, we are tarped and strapped. Only took me about an hour and a half. It's not the prettiest job I've done, but it's not the worst either. I have 2 pallets in the front, 1 pallet there. So I just strapped those down over the tarp. That's always a lot easier. This one, because I got 3 stacks of metal on this side and 2 really high stacks of metal on that side, I couldn't really strap over the tarp on that one. So I strapped them down first and then through the tarp, and then put some straps over the tarp just to give some extra securement. It's pretty freaking tight. I used just about every bungee I had. When I take this off, maybe I'll get a chance to show you guys how I strapped the bottom ones. But basically I had to run, you gotta have 3 straps on these. So you can have one every, whatever, 5 feet. It's close enough to 5 feet. I think it's 4 feet actually, but it doesn't matter anyways. And so I got 3 straps on that bottom pile that's on this side, and then I've got 3 straps going over the big pile that's on the other side. And then tarps, I threw this tarp first because I wanted to go underneath the front tarp, so aerodynamically it flowed over rather than catching the wind underneath. You can see I've got a hole in the tarp, so don't tell on me. But yeah, I'd say it looks pretty solid. Load's definitely not going anywhere. Tarps should hold up pretty well. It's just an awkward load, man. Yeah, I used every corner protector I got too to protect those edges on the tarps. I'll probably still end up with a couple holes. I haven't tarped in a while, so it was kind of nice to do it. Took a whole hour and a half and missed the doctor's appointment, but that's all right. Fuck the doctor. I didn't want to go to the doctor anyways. So now I am going to hit the road. Well, I'm not going to we're kind of hitting the road. I have to go drop the trailer. This load doesn't have to go to Longview until Monday morning at 8. It's only a 12-hour drive. So I'm going to leave early morning Sunday, like 4 or 5 o'clock. So really, I'm just waiting that whole time. So I picked up RV. It's like one of those personal favorite loads, paying $1,500 going 400 miles. I got a deadhead a lot to do it though, so including deadhead miles is only $1.50. But it's power only, so I'm gonna go drop the trailer by my house, and then I have to drive about 70 miles to go pick up the RV, tow the RV about 400 or 500 miles, and then come back, which is about 400 miles. I did the math yesterday. It's a total of 950 miles, but only 400 loaded miles for $1,500. So since I'm waiting anyways, I figured I might as well do it. So I'm gonna go do that. I'll send you guys some footage of that, and I'll catch you on the next one. Got this RV on, headed through the pass on 80 West. It is smoky. A lot of things suck about driving in California. This is not one of those things. It just tastes better here for some reason. And take a look at that fifth wheel I'm hauling. Got about 3 more hours left to go. Then I'll be unplugging, taking the magnets on, and off. Headed back home. Laying down about 1,000 miles today in total. Alright, so getting fuel. Got to fill up pretty much empty. And I wanted to show you guys this guy right here. So this was suggested to me by Plastic Pete Mafia 01 on TikTok. Met him in a gas station, and he says it'll keep my fuel pump lubed up and running good. So it's expensive, so I don't use a lot of it, but every time I fill up, do a couple shots in the tank, and I figure, I don't know if it doesn't work, but I want to find out. I'm going to throw a link down below, and it probably won't work, but hey, just trying to make it easy for you guys. Checking in, guys. Right now I'm in Albany, Oregon. I stopped here because on my way up to Longview, because I'm meeting up with our new driver Casey. He was freaking awesome. I gotta tell you guys this story. Absolutely insane. And this is why this guy is such an awesome driver. So we hired him out of Texas, and he picks up the truck, drives from Amarillo to Fort Worth, I think, and picks up a 16,000 pound load. He's rolling with the 5500 and the PJ, which had a 25K rating. We've hauled way more weight on that trailer, so no problem. And the trailer had just come out he had just picked it up from the shop. They had to do an alignment on it because we noticed it was getting some uneven tire wear. So we brought it in there. They did the alignment. Unfortunately, the tires were already too worn. So after he picked up the load, the tires started showing cords. So he took it to the tire shop, got 2 new tires put on it, and started making his way to go do his drop-off, which is right around this area in Oregon. And we spent, I think, $500 on those 2 tires. So not too bad. And then he is about 5 miles out of Moab, Utah, and a piece, I'll put a picture right here, a piece of the brake assembly, I don't know what happened, but a piece of the brake assembly breaks and just wreaks havoc. This is on the set of duals on the rear axle passenger side. We had just replaced the inside tires on both the duals on the front axle on the trailer. This breaks, just destroys the drum, shatters one of the steel wheels, and pops 2 tires on that rear passenger side dual. Luckily, he was close to Moab. We called a tow truck out at $300 an hour. They helped him pull the tires off, tried to assess the damage, and it was wrecked. They weren't sure if the hub was good or not, if the axle was good or not. And what I'm thinking happened, I think the hub was low, which isn't his fault. I would have thought that the trailer service place would have checked that, but I guess not. So I'm guessing the hub heated up and something in the brake system just failed, and it just actually absolutely blew everything up. So he was able, after they took the tires off, he chained up that axle, limped it 4 miles to a fabricator welder in Moab, who helped him find all the parts. And I'm telling you, this guy made phone call after phone call because he had to get a brake assembly, a hub, 2 tires, and a wheel. And he's able to track down the brake assembly in Moab, which ended up being the wrong one. Actually, no, it wasn't in Moab. He had to drive 150 miles, I think, to Price, Utah, to get the brake assembly and the hub. And then the Le Schwab there said that they had the wheel and the tires, but they didn't have the wheel, but they had the tires. So the one wheel that was still good, he got the tire replaced on that, got the brake assembly, got the hub, which the hub had to be delivered the next day. So we got him a hotel there. He stayed the night, picked up the hub in the morning, but Le Schwab couldn't track down wheels anywhere. So he had to drive like another 150 miles somewhere else in Utah. And what he ended up doing, because the PJ runs with the 19.5 wheels, he ended up finding, I think there were 16 or 16 and a half inch wheels, but with the bigger tires, it's within like 2/10 of the same size as the rest of the tires. So he found 2 new wheels and tires, and then we ended up doing the old wheel is up as a spare. Drove that back down, got the trailer put back together, and when they put it back together, they over-adjusted the brakes. So the hub just kept heating up and heating up. So he was only getting like 50 miles before he had to pull over and let it cool down. Took the hub apart, put it back on, went through all this shit. Finally figured out that it was the brakes that were heating up. So he adjusted the brakes, and now he's been running fine. Whole process probably cost us $3 to $4 grand, and put the truck down for 2 or 3 days. So that was a loss of income for him, a big ticket item for us. But I gotta tell you, Casey's awesome, and he really pulled it all together. And I mean, that for me tells me that he's a quality driver, because not only was his first trip out, he could have just like threw his hands up and said, I'm not, we would have had to do all the work. I could have had to, fly out there or drive out there and have to rescue him. But he took the personal responsibility, not just to get it to where it needed to be, but to find the parts. And it was just a big blessing that he was able to do all that. So he's meeting up with me here. He's got to do his delivery tomorrow and then clocking his reset. We're just trading some stuff in between the trucks. and hooking him up with his fuel cards and stuff. But yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, guys, check out these pictures. It's just absolutely insane. I can't believe that happened. So obviously, I think one lesson that I learned from this is that we've probably put a good 30,000 miles on that trailer since we bought it, and we had a DOT inspection on it when we bought it, but we didn't do a full go through of the trailer. So obviously we're gonna do that once we get it back home. And I think from now on, every 20 or 30,000 miles, I'm gonna tear the trailer apart, check the hubs, check the brakes, and just make sure, do a visual inspection on all the inner parts and make sure everything's good, and then obviously do a better job of making sure our gear oil in the hubs is at the proper level. Obviously it's good when you're going every so often to check the temperature on the hubs and see how they're doing. You know, if they're too hot to where you can't even hold your hand on it for more than a second or two, then it's definitely overheating. They should run pretty cool. And so lessons learned. We learned a lot of lessons the hard way, but the important part is that we got through it. We found the solution. We're still making the delivery, and we know we got a solid driver out of the process. I'm glad it didn't scare him away, because that could easily scare someone away. And from my experience, a lot of truck drivers, they don't, I applaud all the ones that really take the personal responsibility, not just to know their machine and their equipment, but to have the knowledge to work on it and actually execute on doing that work. And I think that's something that we'll probably look for as we continue to hire drivers. So we got another guy that's going to be rolling in this baby. Well, this trailer we're going to put up for sale, as you guys probably got from my last video when I talked about it. And we just bought a 53-foot step deck. It's custom made, and it's got triple 12K Dexter axles. It's not exactly what we're looking for. We wanted to do an air ride setup, but the Diamond C's run 60,000 used. So finding this one for 20-something grand that we're paying for it is an absolute steal. That trailer is going to go with the 5500, and it's a fifth wheel only setup. And right now the 5500 has a gooseneck ball, which I planned on changing out eventually, but now we got to get it switched out. So I'm going to try to track that down. I know two good ones is Talga. Talga has a 36K hitch. I'd like to have a 40K hitch on there, and then the only one I know of is Commander. Both of them, I only found one website for each that sells them, and they run a couple grand. But before I do that, I'm gonna see if we can. I know some guys run with like the actual semi fifth wheel on their truck, so I'm gonna make a couple of calls around Texas to see if there's anyone that can install that. If you guys have any input on that, please jump in the comments and let me know. I really appreciate your feedback, positive or negative. It helps me out, teaches me, helps me learn lessons, and I hope that I can share those with other people. And you guys that are watching my videos, go down and read all the comments, because a lot of guys got good input, and I appreciate everything that comes our way. So yeah, that's the update. After I meet up with him, I'm probably gonna buzz up to this rest stop that's a couple minutes away from here, sleep for the night, pull out 4 a.m. and go make my delivery and pick up something else. I gotta be home. Today's Sunday. I gotta be home by Friday, but it sounds like Harmony got me a load. Should call in the morning that's going directly back. So I might make it home early, and I don't know, I might be able to do some quick California, Nevada trips. So, you know, that's part of the game. You got to be prepared to be able to handle stuff like that happening. You got to have contingencies in place. It took a lot of phone calls around to be able to find the stuff and track down the parts. I know a friend of mine, he rolls with extra bearings and extra brake drums on his trucks, which I think is a decent idea. I don't, but then you also need the people to be able to switch it out. Luckily, we were 5 miles out of Moab. I mean, that was a stroke of luck, because that could have happened in the middle of nowhere, and we would have been looking at a lot bigger bill. So I feel lucky for getting out of it, getting off with what we did, and now we're solid. So that trailer, that PJ that's currently with the 5500 is going to go with this blue truck. We're going to sell this trailer, and we're in the market for something very exciting. But I'm not going to tell you guys that yet. So I don't want to lead you on until I got something locked down for sure. But make sure you stay tuned in future videos, because I think you're definitely going to like where this is going. And I think you got to always be trying to grow. So anyways, we're going to be strictly CDL from now on, because even with a non-CDL rig, you got to have a CDL driver. I'd just rather run the CDL rigs and make more money. You don't have to have as many, you don't have to run as many risks as far as weight and whatnot, because if you're running the non-CDL setup, you got to be a lot more savvy with your weight distribution. Some guy threw in the comments that he thinks that the heavy trailer with the 5500 is going to destroy the truck. I understand the heavier loads is going to be rough on the truck, but to be honest, sir, that's why we bought the 5500, was to do the workhorse. I mean, that thing gets 12 miles a gallon without the trailer, without a load. So if it's going to be running at 6 or 7 miles a gallon, I'm going to make sure it's pulling the weight, So anyways, I'll keep you guys updated. Catch you in Washington. The trailer of infamy. That wheel right there, that's the one that's been giving us trouble. See, it looks a little different. Alright, so got it on this rest stop. I don't know why I'm throwing up gang signs, but it's like 8:30. So gonna hold over for the night. Gonna put a new challenge to myself, and I invite all of you to do it with me. All right. So we know the hardest thing is staying in shape on the road. Shitty food, shitty conditions, shitty sleep. It's hard to convince yourself to, do anything good for your body, especially after you've been on the clock for 14 hours. So I'm putting a challenge to myself. At minimum 50 push-ups when I wake up, and 50 push-ups before I go to bed. So that's 100 push-ups a day at minimum I got to do every day while I'm on the road, at minimum. So I invite you guys to do it with me. I'm throwing it on my TikTok. If you haven't followed me on there, it's at Ginger Tige. So that's Ginger Tige. All right, give me a shout out on there. And let's call it the hashtag trucker push-up challenge. All right, 100 push-ups a day, 50 when you wake up, 50 before you go to bed. All right, let's knock them out. At the Home Depot, unloaded. Now I got a mess to clean up. Gotta love tarpon. Gotta love it. Alright, so y'all can hound on me for not knowing my shit, not doing enough research. So I guess in order to take a load to Canada, you are required to have what's called a PARS number. I've called them before because we had potential loads, and I thought you just needed your passport card and your documentation, but apparently you need a PARS number, which is a pre-arrival review system, which helps them expedite through the ports. So we're not going to be able to take the load because their business department's closed today because I guess it's a holiday. So from what I've heard so far, I'll update you guys more once we get approved. Obviously, we're not going to be able to take this load, but we would like to, have the opportunity to take loads there in the future. You have to call the Canada Border Services Agency and then talk to the business commercial department, and I guess they're able to help you get set up with it. I don't know, it's confusing. Canada's website isn't very helpful as far as figuring out how to do that. So if you guys have any tips, I would love your input. But anyways, so now I'm sitting here in Longview, Washington, and I guess I'll have to wait to find another load. Alright, so we got that debacle figured out. So now I'm picking up a load out of Seattle going to Great Falls, Montana. Decent rate going there, and we know there's probably not going to be anything coming out of it. But it's a short trip this week, so I got to be able to take what I can get. I think it's 1,500, and it's like 600 miles, something like that. So it's like $2.20 a mile. Got myself some coffee. It's one of the great things about being in Washington is I got these little coffee houses everywhere. So I appreciate that about you, Washington. One of the few things. I mean, you're pretty, but just like any pretty girl, you come with problems. So anyways, catch you guys on the road. Here at the pickup, 40-foot ocean container going to Billings. This guy's mobbing. They really run shit here. Lady at the front, she's like, look at me, I'm going here, and here, come back here, sign this. Roger. Ran a mile and a half to do my 50 push-ups, which I didn't do any this morning, so I'm trying to make up for it. So I did 50 push-ups last night, did a mile and a half run, just did 50 push-ups. Now I'm gonna slowly make my way back. Haven't run in a while, but I'm not doing too bad. I'm in a quarter lane, by the way. This area is beautiful, and they had this awesome trail right next to the rest stop. I got out, went to the bathroom. I looked, I saw a trail, I went to check it out. I'm like, it's getting dark. I can't not take advantage of this opportunity and get some exercise in. So, see y'all in Missoula. No, Billings. I'm going to Billings. 1,700. See you there. Okay, so the container is dropped. That's 1,700 in the bank, and just waiting on a rate con for another load down in Wyoming, but I don't know which way I'm headed yet. So we've been having a little trouble getting approved for loads because our out of service rating is high. It's at 50% right now, which is actually where it's been, but like we're initially at 100, and then it came down to 50 when we had 2 inspections. Then we got 2 more inspections with 2 more out of services, one on the driver and one on the truck, but the opposite passed each time, so it's still at 50%, but for some reason we're having a hard time picking up loads. We're thinking it's because of that, because there's like Harmony got like 4 or 5 different loads today. they said yes, and then they said, oh wait, we already booked it. So don't know what that's all about, but in order to combat that, Casey and I are both going to try to volunteer to get inspected on our next run here and see, because if we get a passing inspection, then it's supposed to dilute our out of service rate down. So then we'd be at like a 40%. And we'll just keep working it down. Unfortunately, they'll stay on there for 2 years. But anyways, so far on this trip, I believe we're at 1,500 and 1,700, so that puts us at 3,200. And I filled up in Oregon for 180, and then this morning I got 400, so we're at 580 in fuel. So right now we got like a good doing that. Hold on. We're at like 1,600 and change right now, which is good. Not too bad. That first load I got great gas mileage on. The second load, the container, I only got 8 miles a gallon, and that's how it goes. You know. So, anyways. I'll let you guys know when I'm on the way to Wyoming and where I'm going and what that load's looking like. And that one's going to Arizona, making a big loop. So we were at this pickup. I was at the truck stop last night. Got the rate con this morning. Said I could show up at 8 a.m. So I was here at 8 a.m. They said, hey, it was only like quarter mile down the road. So he said, head back to the truck stop, let the broker call. Head back to the truck stop. Call the broker, ask him what the situation is. He says, oh, they'll be ready at 12:30. Okay, so I'll go wait for 4 hours. And asked him for detention pay. He said after 10 we'll pay $50 an hour. So, all right, fair enough. So now I'm just waiting for them to bring the load out, and we'll hit the road. What's up, guys? I just totally forgot to record. Anyways, I just dropped off that load that I was picking up in Wyoming, which it was supposed to be like 40 feet and 7,000 pounds. It was 10 feet and like a couple hundred pounds. There's one pallet. Got paid $2,900, including detention, to ship that all the way to Phoenix, and they just popped it off my trailer, and it was like 8 towel bins or something like that. I don't know, but I'm not complaining. I really appreciate the shipment. Thank you. And now I gotta go 13 miles. Apparently it's gonna take me 30 minutes to go do another pickup, and it's a really bad rate. But the reason I'm picking it up is to pay for fuel home. So I gotta get home tonight, because it is Friday, and I gotta get home tonight. So it's like $700 for 700 miles, which is fuel cost. That's it. That's all that's happened. Anyways, I'll catch you guys at the delivery, and see you on the other side. The next load's on board, and so we're looking at, apparently this is 5,000 pounds, which we're off the trailer a good amount, so it's possible. So you can see I use my little extra waist strap pieces as corner protectors. I gut wrap it twice, cinch the hell out of it, and I think that it's a decent tie down job. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. So now we're gonna book ass home. Let's hit the road. Alright, so our steel pallet's been dropped, and now we are picking up these bundles of straw thing. I don't know. Anyways, headed back to Sparks from Sacramento. Alright, we are loaded. This load, 16 pallets of this stuff, weighing in at about 10,400 is what it says on the BLL, which puts me right there on the edge, but I should be good, especially since the fuel tank's not full. So let's hope there's any issues. I'm hauling this back to Sparks, Nevada. I'm going to drop it off and turn the truck over. So it's been good. I have arrived, but their receiving's close. Luckily, I'm in my home base, so gonna go home with the local baseball game and then head up, do the delivery in the morning, and then on to the next one.
Okay, it's a hard sport, but if you put the time in, it doesn't matter how athletic you are, none of that stuff. It's all about like skill. Like it's just solely, it's like golf. You know? Like if you start when you're young and you like, you know,